Hello, Nigeria. How are we doing today? I believe we are doing very well. It is Movement Radio, and we are here to indeed give you another epic um, episode of our great show on Movement Radio, where we empower minds and change the narratives. I believe you enjoyed the last episode where we indeed dissect a matter of national importance, all right, of continental importance as African people. Here we are again, very much poised to reveal or dive into another very interesting topic, where did we lose our morality? I am Amusa Bukonlua, Movement Radio Nigeria. I've got my colleague here in the studio from Abuja. Please take it up. Let's get to know you, sir, once again.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is Abdullah Salisu Aliyu, Movement Radio, Abuja, Nigeria. We welcome you all wherever you are from different platforms across all social media platforms, be it YouTube, X, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, and any other streaming platform that you can stream us from. I welcome you all. Today is another interesting episode and another interesting edition. We titled today's show as well, Where Did We Lose Our Morality? A question that we pose on each and every one of us, a question to leadership across Africa, in Nigeria in particular. So, this is Movement Radio, the voice of liberation. We are here again to have another interesting discussion. We hope it's going to be very interactive as we expect many and many of you who are joining us across all the social media platform. As we always say, that is not a one-way traffic, but a two-way traffic, where we said and you also air your opinion. So welcome once again. We look forward to having a very robust, interactive conversation with all of you. The change we demand in Nigeria or the liberation of Nigeria is our collective effort. So let's look forward to see all our effort. You can comment on YouTube, on Facebook. You can join the X audio platform where you'll be able to pick the mic, air your opinion, and we respect everybody's opinion. So, Movement Radio, let's take it.
Yes, thank you very much indeed. We are indeed live and direct across all social media platforms. We are on Facebook, we are on Instagram. We are also very much on Twitch, on YouTube, the Movement Radio across board, Alaba Ferreira across board. Please take advantage of all of the avenues of communication that we have provided. Interact with us across all these avenues of communication. We look forward to having a very great show today because this topic is quite very interesting. It is a topic of national importance, and it's asking a very important question. How did or where did we lose our morality? So many things are happening in our country, in even in Africa, I dare say so many things are happening at the same time. But where did we lose our morality? And what is morality? All right. The act of losing our morality, what does it mean? All right. And how do we recalibrate? Because recalibration is the whole center point, the focal point of our discussion in how we are to recalibrate. How are we going to change the narrative such that we are able to do the needful and empower our mind. All right. Empowering of mind is what the movement radio stands for. All right. It is not just to facilitate, or the continuity of mediocrity. All right. The continuity of impunity. We do not want to continue the, impunity or the rot in the system. We want to put an end to it once and for all. And we look forward to your participation. As always, we want you to join us across all media platforms that is available. Let's take advantage of it. There's a reason why our producer has taken the time and the resources to make the broadcast available across board. Please, let's take advantage of it. Our X platform is where we do most of the interaction, I mean to say. So let's interact. Let's rub minds together. There's no excuse for us to not rub minds together, because at the beginning of our problem is, an effort. Lots of people uniting together to orchestrate what is happening. It's by design that we are going through what we are going through in Nigeria. All right. It's an orchestration by some powers that be. And it will also take our collective, orchestration for us to wriggle our way out of the mess, to regain our morality. All right. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive into the topic. I'll be doing the reading. Or okay, I think Mr. Salisu wants to do the reading. So after it does the reading, and we'll go into the summary, then the mind map to break it down in indigenous lingua franca, so that all of us go fit enjoy what we talk about. This show now for everybody, not be only for people where we say that they speak Oyinbo. Now for people where we say they for street too. So far say you get smartphone and you fit tune into waiting they talk for Movement Radio. Our program, day for you, and it is designed to accommodate you, to bring things down to your level, and to pieces it into granular details. That one a big Oyinbo. To pieces and we be say you go feel understand waiting with the talk. So let's get right into it. Where did we lose our morality? Over to you, Mr. Salisu.
Okay, thank you so much. Welcome everybody. The article goes this way. Where do we lose our morality? Reclaiming the Soul of African Leadership by Abdullahi Salisu Aliyu. A question is quietly gathering force across Africa, and nowhere more urgently than in Nigeria. When the leadership stop being a moral calling and become a mere contest for spoils, ask the average Nigerian whether politics has anything to do with morality, and a starting number will answer no. That governance is one thing and personal virtue is another. That's a man can be a thief in office and a good person at home. That democracy is simply the mathematics of votes and alliance, indifferent to the character of the men and women it elevates. This AC argues that this separation is not African. It is not natural. It is not even truly modern. It is a rupture, a wound inflicted on a continent that once understood with total clarity that to lead was to be judged first and foremost by the state of one's character. This is not a nostalgic essay. It is an accusation and an invitation. An accusation against a political culture that has empathized leadership of its morality. Sorry, that emptied leadership of its moral content, and an invitation to every Nigerian, every African to help rebuild what was deliberately dismantled. The myth we must kill. They claim that politics and morality inhabit separate universe is one of the most successful lies of our era. Successful because it is repeated by the various people who benefit from it. It is a convenient philosophy for a governing class that wants to be judged on performance and delivery, while being shielded from any scrutiny of how they acquire power, how they use it, and what they take from the public purse. While claiming to serve it, it allows a governor accused of diverting billions meant for hospital to be praised for commissioning a single road. It allows a senator to be forgiven for looting a constituency future because he distributed rice at Christmas. But governance, properly understood, is nothing but the organized exercise of power over other people's life, security, and resources. There is no version of the exercise which can be morally neutral. Every appointment, every contract, every budget line, every silence in the face of injustice is a moral act with moral consequence. To insist otherwise is sophistication. It, it is it is evasion. What our ancestors knew, leadership as a moral office. Long before the word democracy arrived on the African shores wrapped in colonial administration, African society had already built elaborate system for ensuring that authority remains tied to character. The philosophy of Ubuntu, most of associated with South Africa, but echoes across the continent in different names and forms. How that person becomes fully human only through relationship and responsibility to others. That leadership guide by Ubuntu rests on morality, mutual respect, and interdependence. And that a leader who forget this interconnectedness has forfeit the very basis of legitimate authority. In the old Oyo Empire, the Alafin did not rule unchecked. The Oyomesi, council of senior chiefs headed by the Bashorun, existed precisely to hold the throne accountable to the tradition and community. A king who governed with cruelty, corruption, and moral recklessness could be and was removed. Power in the world was condition, conditional on conduct, not merely on birthright. Among the Igbo, whose pre-colonial political life was famously described as the stateless democracy without king, authority flowed through the Ozo and the Ize title system. The titles that were never simply bought but earned through demonstrated integrity, service to the community, and the economic responsibility, covering not just status but binding moral obligations. Village governance rested with the Ohaneze, the assembly of elders alongside each great association, and the Omuda, daughters of the lineage, whose collective oversight made unchecked immoral rules structurally difficult. Leadership, in other words, was never separated from character in African political thought. It was inseparable from it. A man without integrity did not merely make a poor leader. In this worldview, he was, by definition, disqualified from leading at all. The rapture. What broke this trade was not an internal African failure of imagination, but an external imposition. Colonial administration replaced accountability, community anchor authority with appointed and often unaccountable rule answering to a distant crown rather than to the people governed. Warren chiefs in Igbo land, for instance, were frequently men with no traditional claims to moral authority, installed because they were complained, not because because they are compliant, because of their compliant, not because they were virtuous. The instrument of accountability, council of elders, age grade, the capacity of a community to depose an unworthy ruler were sidelined in favor of a chain of command that answered upward to empire, not outward to the people. Independence tragically did not fully repair this. Many post-colonial states inherit the colonial architecture of unaccountable authority and simply change the face occupying it. The moral thread that once bound leaders to community was never rewoven into our constitution, our party structure, or our political culture. We kept the throne, we discard the Oyomesi. Prove that character can govern. Skeptics will say this is idealism, that no serious nation can be ruined with virtue alone. Africans on 20th century answered them. Julius Nyerere of Tanzania built his entire philosophy of Ujamaa on principle of honesty in public service, concern for the poor people, for the poor, and stewardship of public resources. And by every credible account, he lived those principles rather than merely preaching them, dying without personal fortune and voluntarily relinquishing power in 1985 at a time when clinging to office was the African norms rather than the exception. A former Tanzanian president will later observe that Nyerere's influence rested squarely on the power of his personal example, not on the machinery of state, not on the machinery of the state. Was Ujama's economic record perfect? No. This essay does not pretend otherwise. But the durability of Nyerere's moral authority, decades after his death, it is in itself the argument. Character in leadership is not a naive luxury. It is a form of governance technology, one that produces national cohesion and institutional trust that purely transactional politics can never buy. Achebe's verdict and the Nigerian present reckoning. And the Nigeria's present reckoning. More than 4 decades ago, Chinua Achebe delivered a verdict on Nigeria that reads today as though it were written this morning. That the trouble with Nigeria is simply and squarely a failure of leadership, and that Nigerian problem is the unwillingness of its leaders to rise to the responsibility and personal example that true leadership demands. Achebe was not describing a technical or administrative failure. He was describing a moral one. A ruling elite that have substituted appearance for substance and personal enrichment for public duty. The evidence that this diagnosis remains valid is not a matter of opinion. It is measured every year. Transparency International 2025 Corruption Perception Index placed Nigeria at 142 out of 182 countries, with score of just 26 out of 100, a score that has not moved in 2 years and sits far below the global average. Nigeria now ranks behind more than 30 other African nations, including Ghana, Senegal, Rwanda, Kenya, and Egypt. This is not an accident of geography, resources, or population size. It is the arithmetic of a political culture in which moral disqualification from office is virtually unheard of, no matter how credible the allegation against a public officer may be. When character is absent from the ballot, consider how politics actually functions. A candidate's fitness for office is assessed today almost exclusively by 3 questions. Can he win? Can he fund a campaign? Can he reward those who help him win? Whether he has ever told the truth under pressure, whether he has ever refused a bribe, whether he treats the vulnerable with dignity when no camera is present, the questions are treated as irrelevant, even naive. When he built primaries, when when have built primaries, campaign, and godfather network that actively filter character out of the process because character is inconvenient to those who profit from its absence. This is why the average local government chairman can preside over the disappearance of allocation after allocation with no consequence beyond newspaper commentary. This is why traditional schools, once and through demonstrated integrity as the Uzo and Ize system required, are in place now contest through money and political patronage rather than moral standing. The rot is not confined to Abuja. It runs from the presidency down to the ward councillor in far too many places into chieftaincy institutions that were never meant to be for sale. Rebuilding the architecture, a case for constitutional reform. If the problem is structural, the solution must be structural too. Moral is moral exoneration, moral exaltation alone will not save Nigeria. Our ancestors did not really owe exaltation or really on exaltation. They built institutions. A serious national conversation is overdue on amending our constitutional and electoral framework to make demonstrated integrity a formal condition for eligibility for public leadership at every level. Local government, states, and the federal office, and where communities so choose. The chieftaincy and the traditional institution that once embodied exactly these principles, this could take the form of stronger, independently verified asset declaration and lifestyle audit requirement before candidacy is accepted. Enforceable code of conduct with real moral powers, model on the accountability once exercised by council like the Oyomesi, and constitutional bars on contesting or holding office for anyone credibly established through fair process to have breathed the public trust. To have breached the public trust. Sorry. None of this is about imposing an impossible standard of sainthood on our leaders. It is about restoring the ordinary ancient African expectation that woven acts to hold power, to ask power over the community resources and security must first show the community that they can be trusted with a far smaller things. If a man cannot be trusted to lead his household honestly, our elders never trust him to lead a village. When he inverted that wisdom, when we have inverted that wisdom, we are living with the consequences. What this demand of us, but no constitution amend itself, and no elite disqualify itself from power currently enjoys unmolested. This is where the burden returns to the citizen. Every Nigerian who complains about bad leadership while voting along ethnic, religion, or purely transactional line is participating in the very system being condemned. Every traditional institution that sells a title once meant to certify character is complicit in the same rapture. Every religious leader who blessed a non-looter ambition for the price of a donation is cheating a Congress that morality is teaching a Congress that morality is negotiable. Nigerians and Africans more broadly must begin to treat the moral history and question of a candidate with the same seriousness we treated their manifesto. In fact, with more seriousness, because a manifesto is a promise and character is any real evidence of whether promise will be kept. Civil society, the media, and the religious and the traditional institutions must reclaim their historical role as guardian of the moral threshold for leadership. The role our ancestors assigned to councils of elders, age grades, and the Omodua. This is not a call to pity. It is a call to structure, to rebuild deliberately and with resolve the architecture of accountability that colonialism dismantled and that independence failed to restore. Conclusion. The thread can be woven. We did not lose our morality in leadership because Africa are uniquely corruptible or because democracy is inherently amoral or because politics must always be dirty. We lost it because we allow the link between character and power, a link our ancestors guard with councils, titles, and standing traits of removal to be severed first by colonial imposition and then by our own complicity. What was broken by history can be rebuilt by will. The Oyo Mercy is gone, but the principle is embodied in it is not. The principle it embodied is not. The Ozo title is not universally what it once was. It once was. But the moral standard in was it was certified can still be demanded of anyone who seeks to lead us. Nigeria and Africa do not need another generation of leaders skilled only in winning election. We need a political culture backed by law and enforced by an awakened citizenry. That one again treat moral character as the first and non-negotiable qualification for power. From the presidency to the local government chairman, from the governor's mansion to the village stool, and yes, even to the office of class monitor, where the habit of tomorrow's leaders are first formed. That is not utopian. It is simply African. It is time we remember it. So thank you. As the article. So now back to Movement Radio Lagos for the summary version.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Abdullahi, for taking us through that summary, that article. My assignment is to take us through the summary. For the sake of those that are just coming in, we welcome you to Movement Radio, where we empower minds and change narrative, different from the regurgitation going on within the mainstream media. We are here to be the media of the people that sets the record straight and reveal some narratives that are used to indoctrinate us at the psychological level. So, once again, I welcome all of us for joining us in today's broadcast. Please feel free to pick up the mic on X. To as many as those that are joining us on our X platform, feel free to drop a comment so that we can read in the studio here. And that would show to us as a feedback that we are not just speaking to the here, or we're not just talking. We are not just a bunch of talk heads that just want to talk. We indeed want to have an interaction with members of the public. So there's no point having a gathering like this and we do not have a heart-to-heart exchange of ideas, of views, perception, and of course, viewpoint. It would differ, but the participation is very, very important. Let's talk, all right? Everything stands from talking. Let's listen to one another first, all right, and get to see the inner workings of each other's minds and subject every idea to the highest level of scrutiny. That is what we have to do to as a first step towards liberation. Very, very important. Yes, we'll move to the summary. For the sake of those that are just joining us, we welcome you very, very powerfully and specially. We hope that you enjoy the essence of our agenda on Movement Radio, and we hope that you would come back. And one of the things you can do to not forget whenever we are going live, you'll be notified, is to follow us, to subscribe, to like, to share, to comment. Very, very important. It will help the algorithm push our broadcast to you whenever we are live again. We usually have these live sessions every 2 days. After today, the next broadcast will be on Thursday, then Saturday and Sunday. Same time, 5 p.m. West African time and 12 noon American time. So thank you so much for joining us again. Let's dig deep into this article once again as a summary. All right. Reclaiming the soul of an African leadership, a moral imperative. All right. This essay argues that the current perception of leadership in Africa, particularly in Nigeria, as separate from morality, is a destructive rupture, not an inherent characteristics, I mean to say. It contends that African societies historically understood leadership as an intrinsically linked to character and moral responsibility. We will still talk more about this when we begin to dissect it, when we look at the mind map. But this is very, very clear. There is an agenda, there is a narrative to separate morality from leadership. All right? But that, and of course, there's also a narrative to say that it is normal, it is human behavior to use power, like a right, and not, an unchecked situation where at the very core of every decision is a question of, is this right or wrong? Right or wrong? That is the whole essence of morality. When you are making any policy, you are asking every step of the way, is this the right thing to do? Who are those that will be affected by this? Is it going to affect these ones negatively or positively? All right. What would history say when it comes to this decision that we are about to make? That is the bottom line of every policy or decision of the government. Let's proceed. The myth of separate spheres. The lie is that the idea that politics and morality are distinct is a convenient philosophy for a corrupt governing class. That the idea that politics and morality are distinct, governments usually use this as a convenient philosophy when it is very, very corrupt. A corrupt class will always lie that politics and morality are two different, distinct ideas. But that is not true. And we'll find out towards the course of this broadcast. What is the reality after considering the lie? Governance is the exercise of power over lives, security, and resources, and every action within it has moral consequence. Let me take that again. Governance is the exercise of power over lives, security, and resources, and every action within it has a moral consequence. You see, you saw what I said. You remember what I said previously, that at the very core of every policy, you have to ask the moral consequence of it. That is what is called governance, not just carrying out every act to favor certain interests without taking to cognizance who are the demographic that will be affected and to what extent. And of course, is it moral? Very important. Historical African understanding of leadership, the Ubuntu philosophy, emphasizes interconnectedness, mutual respect, and responsibility to others as the foundation of legitimate authority. I believe you must have heard about the Ubuntu philosophy. If you have not heard about it, well, there's always a first time. You are hearing it from the Movement Radio. Ubuntu spirit emphasizes interconnectedness, mutual respect, and responsibility to others as the foundation of legitimate authority. Any authority that is not connected with the people, that does not have mutual respect for the people, and of course does not have a sense of responsibility, is not legitimate. In the African philosophy of Ubuntu, leadership must connect with the people, respect the people, and be responsible to the people. That is who we are as African people. Then you have the Oyo Empire. The Alaafin's power was checked by the Oyomesi, ensuring accountability to tradition and community. Kings could be removed for cruelty or corruption. You can see the Oyo Empire, the infamous Oyo Empire, and how it is well structured as against the narrative of some certain interest that the African people are a bunch of barbarians. And of course, they are also a bunch of, and they speak vernacular. They also use some certain words, you know, they are a bunch of savages. All right? That is not true. And one of the features of a civilized kingdom or entity or race is how they are able to govern themselves. What is the structure of how they govern one another? It is very, very important. There's no point, you know, having any form of leadership that is not connecting with the people and does not have at the very core of it accountability to tradition and community. Kings could be removed for being cruel or corrupt. Kings do not have absolute power as against the narrative that they used to push to the rest of the world, that kings were authoritarian. Yes, they have got authority. Just the same way any democratic country, you know, presidents have some certain authority. You have example of Trump, who went ahead with a war that is not approved by the National Assembly. That is the use of power, abuse of power. So even in democratic system, my point is that powers can still be abused. All right. And it's the same thing in a monarch system, or the kind of system that is practiced in Oyo, that is practiced in Benin Kingdom, and even in part of Southeast. You have the tendency of abuse of power. But at the very core of it, we African people also have checks and balances. And such checks and balance is Oyomesi, to recalibrate the morality of the Kabiyesi authority, the king's authority, to question it to check it, to balance it, and to deliver consequence for any abuse of such power. So very, very clearly, those that want to distinguish politics from morality, what we are here to do is to shed light and perspective and give insight to it so that you can indeed see the reality and the true nature of events. And our position on Movement Radio is to always expose these situations to you so that you can make informed choice in the future, and you can be well informed and know what to expect from your leaders. Your leaders must connect with you. They must be responsible. They must be they must have a sense of responsibility. That yes, I have a people that I am serving, and I am responsible to them. I am not going to lord everything or anything over them. I am going to make consultations with them at every step of the way when I want to make any decision. So we are glad to have our very own producer, the Movement Radio Chicago, join us in the studio here. I don't know whether or not he would like to chime in anything, or we should fire on for now.
Before you fire on, I want to quickly say a big thank you to all of you that have joined us on the X. Please ask for a microphone to add your opinion on whether we have lost our morality, whether election and where politics and morality have a commonality. Please, your views are very important. But before I go on, I would like to quickly thank all the people that are on board. Omo Logo, Onomed, Tena Eden, Hero, Yemi Ajayi, Anepiok, Edo Pikin, Prayer Angel, Onome Ad, Prayer Ogun, Queen Jaja, Osasa Ajayi, Bolanle Oke, Meta Nwosu, Nafisat Ajayi, Tenado Bello, Afsat Jiri, Malam Joe, Onome Ejiro, Armstrong, Debbie, Blessing O, Richard, Kofi. We know you could be doing something better with your time. We thank you for coming to join us and hear us here on the Movement Radio. We are about enlightenment. We are about changing narratives. We are about freeing the minds of the Nigerian, of the African, so that they can free themselves. That is our purpose. We are not into the usual discussions that do not have any benefit for the upcoming generations, or those that can free Nigeria, or those that are young. We want somebody to learn something anytime they spend time with us. We don't do news. We don't regurgitate news. We don't do news, but we do very interesting articles and positions of Nigerians that reflect our pragmatic reality. And our pragmatic reality right now is that Nigeria cannot continue like this. Whether you agree or disagree, this is not, at this moment, it's not a country you want to hand over to your children. So we are doing this for our children. We are doing this for generations yet unborn. We are doing this for the future so that we can have a better country. We can have a country where we can call our own, where we are full citizens, where we have citizens' right, where we have the right to pursue our own happiness without hindrance, where we can change the narrative whereby our country has become a weapon that is fashioned against us. This is why the Movement Radio exists. So we thank you all for joining us. Please don't be shy. Ask for the microphone. Request the microphone. Ibuku will bring you on. You can only do that when you're on the Movement Radio X. We can do that on YouTube, although we are running full cylinders. We are running two charts on YouTube. We have the Movement Radio and we have the Alaba Ferreira. Then we are running two charts on the Facebook also. We have the Movement Radio and we have the Alaba Ferreira. And then we are running also on Twitch. If anybody's on Twitch, we are running on there. We're running 3 on X. 2 are visual. You cannot contribute on the visual, but you can watch us. But if you want a VIP access, we could always allow you into the studio. That is not a problem. So we have 3 running on X, 2 are visual, 1 is audio. It's the audio one, the Movement Radio, the one that starts with the M, that you can contribute. And then we are also on Instagram. Yeah, we are also on Instagram. So first, for now, I can only see those that are on the the audio for X. That's why I acknowledge all of them. A few people have also joined us on Instagram, Andriata Adebayo, Bayesha, and all that. I can't say the name. And also, we are also on TikTok. Now, the TikTok one, the names are so small for my eyes to pick up, but quite a lot. I see Rosa, Lave, Binto, Travali, and quite a few others, Naya Freak, and quite, I can't mention all the names. The list is usually very, 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 very long on TikTok, where we have Kajib, we have, well, so I'm just calling names that I can see, but I can't see most of the names, right? So we are everywhere. Point being, we want you to hear us. We want you to change the Nigerian narrative. We want to educate. We want to inform. We want to engage. Only on the positive note. We are not neutral because we believe that values, human values, is not neutral. You're either positive or negative, and we want to swing on the positive side. This is who we are. This is what can save us. This is what can save our country. This is what can save our nation. Now, we know we are in the era of the Olodo uprising, where a lot of negativity have taken hold of our nation. We are trying to change that narrative. We are attempting to confront the issues that confront us, the evil that confront us. We want to put a mirror before ourselves and see if the reflection we see is not good, and how can we change this? What can we do today that we didn't do yesterday? What can we do tomorrow that we are not doing today that can make us better than what we have been since 1960, since 1914, since the coming of the white man? This is our purpose, this is our mission, and we thank you all for joining us. Please ask for the microphone, contribute. Is there a connection between morality and politics? A lot of the greedy ones among us have always argued that politics is not morality. Are they right? What's the point of a collective existence, of establishing rules of engagement, of establishing the rule of law, if the purpose is not to establish a moral community? If we all do whatever we want, kill children, rape children, steal money, do whatever we want, is our human existence based towards the moral curve? There's a saying that the human decision rainbow runs towards the curve of morality. I'm paraphrasing it now. So these are our existence. We don't want to talk too much. We don't want our voice to be the only ones you hear. Please request microphone, talk, engage, but we will break things down on our own end, and we will bring you interesting things and comment. Again, thank you all for joining us, whatever medium you're using. I thoroughly apologize to our YouTube crew. I'm always not able to see the list on YouTube and Facebook. I only see the ones on the audio on X, a little on TikTok, quite a lot of them on TikTok. I apologize for I didn't call your name. And then on Instagram also. So any medium you have, or whatever you have, you can always join, listen in, comment. Oh, I forgot to mention, you can also comment on any of the medium, and we will see your comment on this in the studio, and we will read it out. Whatever you can comment on the comment section. It could be Instagram, could be TikTok, could be X, any of the visual ones you can comment. I'm going to hand it over back to Abdullahi, who is coming to us from Abuja, and then for Ibukun Olua, who is coming to us from Lagos. My name is Alaba Pereira, and I'm coming to you all from Chicago. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much indeed for that intervention. And it is important we emphasize the role of participation, very important, in this public discourse. It's a public discourse that is not a one-way traffic, as we have always said. It's not a one-way traffic. It's a two-way traffic. You know, you talk I talk, you make your suggestions. We indeed, project what the facts are from our own point of view here, and we exchange. That is how we want to operate. So, having spoken about the Alaafin and the Oyomesi situation, where power is, checkmated, all right, ensuring accountability and commitment to the community. Talking about the Igbo society, all right, authorities was earned through demonstrated integrity, service, and economic responsibility via systems like Ozo and Inze, assemblies of elders, or Aneze, and other community groups provided oversight. All right, you can see this is a very sophisticated, check system, right, that act as oversight over power to indeed look at the morality of every decision that is made by the authority. All right, and before you can even attain such cadre within the society, you must have demonstrated integrity. We African people do not just entrust leadership and authority to absolute charlatans. That is not how we operate. That is not how we operate as African people. We only give privilege for those that can serve and, of course, be responsible to the rest of us. And we've got mechanism in place to ensure that. So any other narrative that paints us as a bunch of barbarians or, savages with no sophistication or perhaps any moral compass, that narrative is not true. And we are here to set it straight. And I believe we are doing that already. So the colonial rupture and its aftermath, the colonial imposition replaced accountable, community-anchored authority with appointed, often unaccountable rulers answering to distant power. This is what is called neocolonialism, all right, or imperialism, where there is a powers that be that is indeed very distant. They would not show themselves and how they operate. They would just put placeholders, puppets that would indeed be answerable to them and not the indigents and the members of the society. That is indeed an abomination or a very evil invention by the colonial entities. All right. And we have the post-independence inheritance. Many African states retained colonial structures of unaccountable authority, failing to reweave the moral thread into their governance. All right. Even after independence, like we have in Nigeria and many other parts of Africa, you can still see footprints and you can see the bigger hands manipulating situations and interests, resources, and of course the psychology of our people towards certain end. You can see their influence even when they are not there. And it shows that when you see any African leader that does not have any sense of accountability to their people, just note it, that kind of leader is not one of us. It just looks like us. The skin just looks like us. That entity is not one of us. He or she is representing a foreign or perhaps an alien interest. And of course, what do we do? If there's an alien object in the body, what the body does is to try all its best to purge it out. That is what it does. That is why you hear the word purge. You remove alien entities from the system. That is what you would do if you are in any African country where you can sense that this leadership is answerable to other foreign or alien entities. What you do, and of course, as naturally as it should, is to purge character as a governance technology. Julius Nyere's example, Tanzania's Umma philosophy built on honesty and stewardship, demonstrated that personal example and moral authority can foster national cohesion and trust, even if economic outcomes are imperfect. Then you have Achebe's verdict. Nigeria's fundamental problem is a failure of leadership, an unwillingness to embrace the responsibility and personal example true leadership demands. Ask yourself, all of the so-called leaders that we have identified as ruiners, if you have been close enough to the movement radio, you must have been used to this dialectics that they are not leaders, they are ruiners. All right. Achebe points it out that the fundamental problem of Nigeria is a failure of leadership and the unwillingness to embrace the responsibility and personal example true leadership demands. They ask you to tighten your belt, but their own belly keeps becoming bigger and bigger, such that they will need a tapoli-like kind of a parachute-looking attire to cover the bigness of their belly, and to intimidate you with their stature, that their stature is bigger than yours. Just because of what? They are not leaders by example. They are leaders in mouth, not leaders in deed. Right? The present reckoning and the ballot box. Number one, corruption perception. Nigerians' low ranking on Transparency International Corruption Perception Index reflects a political culture where moral disqualification from office is rare. All right? You can see all of these things play out in our society as we speak. Then you have electoral filters. Candidate fitness is assessed by winnability and funding, not by truthfulness, integrity, or dignity towards the vulnerable. You can see that this is also very much playing out. All right. They talk about war chests, that saying get money. And of course, we'll talk about that in details using the example when we get to the mind map. All right. Rot from top to bottom. Corruption permeates from the presidency to local government and even traditional institutions, which are increasingly subject to money and patronage. You can see, obviously, that the traditional system or the traditional institution and the local government are indeed puppets of the central, the authority. They have bought everybody. Every institution is in bed with them. And that is why, you are experiencing what you are experiencing. Your environment is terrible. All right. No services for you. No emergency. If you get any emergency for Nigeria and you have a number that you are going to call and they will get to you in 10 minutes, that is not possible based on the Nigerian situation. And you have been having so-called leaders that we have identified as ruiners here, who has indeed constituted your authority, in quotes, for the past 2 decades, and they cannot even fix emergency services. And you now be asking yourself, what are they collecting taxes for? They collect taxes from big corporations in billions of dollars. They collect taxes from you too. Even when you make a call, you see what is called VAT. That is tax. So a tax with that too. All of those resources, where is it going to? You ask them. Despite you paying taxes, they cannot even facilitate public sanitation. They will have to enforce you to come out on a particular Saturday to come and clean the public, to come and do compulsory community service. when you are not even given that, as a punishment. That's supposed to be a punishment if you don't know. Community service is a punishment, but you have your government, giving you that punishment systematically just because they have failed after budgeting billions of naira to sanitize the environment, to ensure waste management systems. They fail, but they systematically transfer that responsibility back to you, and you are taking it, and you don't want to resist that humiliation of parking gutter on behalf of a government that should get workers and equipment and systems whose job it is to do it. All right. Rebuilding the architecture of accountability, structural solution, moral exhortation is insufficient. Institutions are needed. Constitutional reform proposal include stronger, independently verified asset declaration and lifestyle audit. People that want to become your leader, they must be honest enough to make declaration of how much of an asset or assets that they have. All right, it's important. They have to declare how much properties that they have before they get into office, so that when they come out of the office, you would know whether they have stolen from you or they have served you. But what you have had in the past 2 decades, you have public servants who they don't have they did not declare any houses or properties before getting into office. But after leaving the office, you have them with over 200 properties abroad and even locally. They have bought properties everywhere. You have been robbed if that is the situation. Enforced codes of conduct with real removal powers. There's no removal power. We spoke about this in the last broadcast, talking about immunity, the whole fraud called immunity, which needs to be scrapped. If you also watched our short video, we redid it and we sent it to all our platforms for reminder. The whole phenomenon called immunity, when you are still doing a job and you want to tell us that you should be immune from every form of legal challenge from the members of the public. That is a fraud. That is not supposed to be what constitutes real leadership. Then you have constitutional bars for those credibly found to be breach public trust. You've had politicians in Nigeria who have indeed stolen from the people, and they are now walking free as if nothing is happening. Example is Yaya Bello. We'll do more of the explanation when we get to the mind map. So, conclusion, the loss of morality in African leadership is not due to inherent corruption or the nature of democracy, but to this severing of the link between character and power. This link, once guided by institutions, was broken by colonial imposition and perpetuated by complicity. By will and resolve, this broken thread can be rewoven, demanding that moral character be the first and non-negotiable qualification for power at all levels of governance. This is not utopian. It is a return to an essential African principle. That is the summary of that article. To as many as those just joining us, and I hope you have not missed a beat. All right, so let's go to the mind map, and let's dig deep into.
Before you start the mind map,
all right.
Our mind map, for those who are joining us for the first time, is just where we try to break with the points we're trying to make down into language that the whole country can understand. We don't want to be talking Igbo past Englishman, where the market woman no go fit to understand the thing we do. So we usually use the mind map like our breakdown of key points of what we are trying to say. But before we do that, I will go say we have 2 videos we want to show you. And then we also have a question from this discussion. It's like, what's the question, Ifufu Abdullah? What's the question we're generating from this? Is there, I don't want to read out say out the wrong question. You guys help me out with that. What's the question?
Where did we lose our morality?
I don't think that's encompassing enough. I think the one that would push our people to talk more is that, should politics have morality? Is politics moral? You know, we just had the president who says all is fear. Grab it, snatch it, kill it, and do. And right now in Osun State, they're killing each other. Brothers are killing each other just for this same game of politics. So, I've heard a lot of commentators on X and YouTube say politics is not morality. Are they right? I think that should be our question. I mean, we should face it head on. People should comment and
Yes,
tell
that should
us.
be our question. Politics
That should be
are
our
moral.
question. Should politics be moral? Should be about morality? I don't know how to frame it into a question, but if you
That
want
is
to
that is a good way to frame it. Anyway, should politics
So
be about
anybody wants to,
morality?
anybody wants to pick a microphone can do that at any time. We have 2 videos we want to show you before we go to the mind map and break it down in pidgin English. But please join us on the pick up a microphone. Do you believe that politics should be moral, or morality is politics? How do they normally say it? I want to use their own words. Politics is not morality. Do you believe that politics is not
They said
morality? That's
that
our
there is
question.
no morality in politics.
There is no morality in politics. That is our question. Can you change the topic on our audio for the X so that people will know what we are talking
Yes,
about?
I'm doing that.
They can comment on that. While we're doing that, we're going to show you 2 videos. One about the state of the Nigerian police, and a comment, and also our current election of sharing rice and agbado. So I'm going to share that now. Please listen. Share. That's the video.
Can this really be true? What kind of government do we have in this country? Watch the video. Drop a comment and follow this page.
It goes back to my point. Me and you know that if you go to a police station today, you will need to buy your own foolscap sheet to write your statement. Don't you know that? Don't you know that if you are detained in the police today and you have malaria, you have to buy your own medicine? In fact, the person that reported you have to bring money to buy medicine so that the police can get you anti-malaria medicine. They have no budget for it. The police budget for fuel, and I use that argument because I have managed the Federal Road Safety Corps. The police budget for fuel translates to like 1 liter a day for their vehicles and for all their police stations in the country. Me and you know that if you have a police orderly with you, given by the police, you have to give him money to buy bullets. That the police does not supply him bullets. Don't you know that Nigeria's elite are buying bullets for their police? That they're buying bulletproof vests for their police? All these police you see with Nigeria's elite are not getting any bullets from the police force. They are buying it. They know that there's a black market for bullets in Lagos, in Onitsha, in Enugu. There's a black market for police. The Nigerian state has no capacity. Don't you know that Nigerian police officers buy their own uniform? Are you not aware that Nigerian security officers use MTN modem for internet to send emails in the DSS, in NIA, that they're using modem, that they have no secure platform of communication? Don't you know that? Don't you know that the Federal Executive Council, that the memos that are written and typed in the office of the Cabinet Secretariat have no secure communication?
Can someone please confirm this for me? Can this
In
really be
case you didn't
true?
hear it the
What kind of
first time, we're
government do we
playing
have
it
in this
again.
country? Watch the video and you will weep for Nigeria. Drop your comment and follow this page.
It goes back to my point. Me and you know that if you go to a police station today, you will need to buy your own foolscap sheet to write your statement. Don't you know that? Don't you know that if you are detained in the police today and you have malaria, you have to buy your own medicine? In fact, the person that reported you have to bring money to buy medicine so that the police can get you anti-malaria medicine. They have no budget for it. The police budget for fuel, And I use that argument because I have managed the Federal Road Safety Corps. The police budget for fuel translates to about 1 liter a day for their vehicles and for all their police stations in the country. Me and you know that if you have a police orderly with you, given by the police, you have to give him money to buy bullets. That the police does not supply him bullets. Don't you know that Nigeria's elites are buying bullets for their police? That they're buying bulletproof vests for their police? All these police you see with Nigeria's elites are not getting any bullet from the police force. They're buying it. They know that there's a black market for bullets in Lagos, in Onitsha, in Enugu. There's a black market for police. The Nigerian state has no capacity. Don't you know that Nigerian police officers buy their own uniform? Are you not aware that Nigerian security officers use MTN modem for internet to send emails in the DSS, in NIA, that they're using modem, that they have no secure platform of communication? Don't you know that? Don't you know that the Federal Executive Council, that the memos that are written and typed in the office of the Cabinet Secretariat have no secured communication?
Can someone please confirm this? Can this
I want to just add that we are here at the Movement Radio. While we agree with most of what that man said, we want to seriously dissociate ourselves from the view that the Nigerian elites should have their own police. We believe that is part of the problem. The society should have their police, not some elites should not have police guiding only elites. That's a distorted view. That's a big manism, part of the things we're trying to change. You know, why would the elites have a police and the common man has no police response? So we here at the Movement Radio totally dissociate ourselves from that aspect. But everything else is said about the state of poverty of the Nigerian police. Part of why we should reflect on why we are witnessing huge amount of insecurity, and we need to connect the thought. Why doesn't the police have bullets? Why don't they have this? Why don't they have that? So that's our first video, and you can see even from the person trying to change the system, he also has a big man mentality. The Nigerian elite should have their police. That's absolute nonsense. That's worse than apartheid. So when we here say that big manism is
like
worse than
maintaining the
apartheid,
social
this is
system.
yeah. What did you say, Abdullahi?
I say that's show because if the Nigerian elite should have police attached to them, that's maintenance of the feudal system. Because
Yes.
ordinarily, if there is effective security system, why do you need private security to protect you? So you just point out to the rots in the police system.
Yeah. Yes. That is it. Why would you have a Nigerian elite having a police? These are things we need to condemn and condemn them.
Because it's the responsibility of the whole leadership to protect life and property of every Nigerian, not selective individuals.
Yes. And that is truly terrible. It shows how bad the rot is. Here's another video we're going to share with you where they are sharing rice for election, and a lot of people don't see anything wrong with this. They're collecting their PVC and giving them 3 or 4 cups of rice. Actions like this should be considered thoroughly illegal. These people should be arrested, prosecuted, and also jailed. The people distributing this were not there yet. This is nothing but weaponization of poverty.
Ẹ̀dìbò fún mú ní erújì ní òye bá mi jí o. Ajá wa kìfáyà tó yẹ tọ́lá àwọn ni wọ́n gbé fún yín o. Wọ́n ní ẹ̀dìbò fún mú ní erújì ní o. Ọ̀pọ̀ ọmọ yín o. Wọ́n ní ẹ̀dìbò fún o. Ìyá wa gbé kalẹ̀ èmi náà fi tèmi kú o.
So you see how we are bastardizing the system. Ibukun and Abdullahi, check your text message. Check your text message. So we continue. We can now continue with the mind map. So with those two videos. Yeah. Yeah, who is doing the mind map?
I got your
There
message,
were like
sir.
about 20 the moment they say where we start.
Yeah, that was too much for them to. It was too much for them to handle.
Too much. It was too much. It was immediate.
Well,
So you guys quickly run through the mind map and we continue with our action. We are doing the right thing.
well, yeah. Let's proceed with the
Yeah,
mind map.
before we go on, I think we have a comment from one of the pages. Oh no, it's from Twitch.
It's from
viewers
Twitch,
from
and
Twitch.
the
So,
message is not is not coherent. Yeah.
yeah, let's proceed. Yeah.
All right. So yes, to the mind map, I believe we can all see what is on the screen. The problem, morality. I'm coming. Let me just mute. Okay. And of course, leadership seen as context for spoils. Now, we say that they see leadership as a competition of waiting they don't steal and waiting them go steal. And you can see from the video we will play finish now, you can see it has now been normalized, vote buying with capitalizing on the suffering of the people. Governance versus personal virtue. You know, there's governance and there's personal virtue. And you do not lose your personal virtue because, say, you won't run as maybe as a governor or as a councillor, or as a chairman, or as a senator, or as a president. No be say they go they give us the argument, say, if you want play politics, say now one you go choose. Either make you dey moral, or be make you play politics, because politics is not moral. That is to say, they are normalizing all of the dirty things with them they do, when they don't suppose they do for politics. That is what is happening. And of course, democracy as vote math, not character. Yes, they are seeing democracy as just votes. Let us just, and of course, these are the people that are voting for them. The vulnerable people, people that do not have any choice, people that have been forced That is what is called forced loyalty. Your loyalty will not come from your mind. You know, come from your church mind. Now, the kind loyalty with them they use, win election. Now, be that. Tell you want that kind of loyalty. All right. Is that how to play politics? And that is why they are proposing some of these terrible ideas. They are sowing the seed of these terrible ideas in your mind that politics is not moral, so that they can do whatever nonsense that they want to do. All right. So let's proceed in the mind map. Mr. Abdullahi,
Yes.
you take that
Let me
other.
take the second one.
Yes, the other second one. So let's go.
Yes, the lie.
It is
Politics and morality separate.
Are they come?
Yes.
Okay. Are they come? Make I
Before
bring them up.
Abdullahi continues, I just want to say that we got our #1 viewers back from African Wahala on TikTok, so we appreciate that. Thank you, African Wahala. We see you. Continue, guys.
Okay.
Can you see I'm like that?
Yes, I can. You can just reduce it a little bit.
Is it okay like this?
Yes. Okay. The lie. Politics and morality are separate. This one is just saying that politics and morality, they are not together. They are two different things. That each of them operate in one level and the other operate in another level. So they are not going together. There are things that are incompatible. Or we say things that they go together. If you say you'll be moral, you cannot join politics, because people will tell you, say, if you want to know your grandpapa, or if you want to know what you do before, join politics. And the reason why all these things are happening, and even when people point towards the bad things in politics, people know they see them as anything bad. It's normal now. Our politicians now, all the thing where they do is normal. You see accusation, you see people, they tell person, say, in get corrupt allegation, in get some character misconduct, where maybe in don't sexually abuse somebody, or in don't physically assault person or insult person, or even carry money, but they will say, "Hey, now politician now, politicians can do anything." So them, they don't have anything moral peg. They don't have anything that would use moral. Say they will judge them based on morality. That's what this one is trying to tell us. So the first one is under this. Sorry, can you down a little?
Okay, okay. Are they come?
Okay. Leadership seems as convenient. So as they see, because they see leadership as just convenience. They think, say, leadership is a call or is responsibility. No, it's place to just go and relax. That's why if person they don't elect them to chairman, councillor, they say, this one don't make them now. How will person be chairman and later become poor person now? This one he want too much, or maybe in village people they follow him, or they don't cause him. How will you occupy such office and at the end of the day you come back to the street or become like us, still the hustle, or you not get anything? So that, because we know they see leadership as what responsibility, we know they see them as a call to action or call to serve. We know they see them as anything, saying na work, na job, person they go do there. But they see them as opportunity to loot, to carry money anyhow without control. That's why they talk about this one. Then the second one say governance by his personal virtue. So they see them say governance and personal virtue, that one a different thing. If you want the governance, forget about virtue. Virtue you feel get, say, under governance or the leadership where they give you, or place where office where they occupy, you do anyhow, you steal money, you do anyhow. But your own within your personal virtue, that's your own personal responsibility in your own family level. Maybe you are a brother, you are a father, a husband, you dey do that one correct, but outside the responsibility wey they give you, you dey do another thing. So we dey see them as two different things wey they do at home different, things wey they do in office different. So that's how while it's something that we suppose say they are the same thing. The same way you no fit destroy your family, so no destroy your country. The same way they take your office as father at home, take the office where they give you in public service, also very important. No bring any wahala into it. Then the next one, democracy as a vote, shield from scrutiny of power and acquisition. So they try protect themselves from power and from anything where power go take, like the immunity where we call before. Nothing where they know they protect themselves. All those things where they do that immunity clause where they put now to protect them. Anything where they go do, they go try gather money, buy their justice anyhow they go want them. Then allow praise for minor achievement despite corruption. People they celebrate a person don't carry millions, but at the end of the day, income build one borehole where at the end of 3 months it don't disappear. The water not even there. But when you build a or in drill the borehole or in dig the borehole, at the end of the day they will say to I last. It don't happen. This one don't come do us better now. You go they celebrate all those small things where they do. But the big money, the big things where they supposed to do, fix your road, fix your schools, your hospital, the electricity, give jobs, all those ones don't disappear. But small thing when come do, you go begin the praise them. They just want people maybe they praise them on that one. So then the third one, what governance is. The third one is then we they ask question to what governance or leadership or responsibility is the job where person where they do government or the person where they occupy one office, what is it truly is. Then organize exercise of power. So make person is supposed what do something correctly. You should exercise in power very well. That is supposed to do his responsibility. He should be someone of good moral standing. Say may not be saying a person will get something where him they hide. Anything they do clear. Him they allow people ask question, him they answer question. Not be saying they disappear. Anytime when they ask question, you know go say them again. Then inherently moral, not neutral. So you should what all the things when they do should have moral consequence. Him they always think of moral consequences. You not just be say whether it good or it bad or more just do as far as we do. No, it should not be neutral. It should not be say it's on the both side, whether good or bad. He still did all that side. No, may just be on one side. Just like the way movement radio did. We know the neutral, we are on one side. That's the side of liberation of Nigeria. So anybody where they occupy any office, he should not be neutral saying, and will they accept better, good or bad? No, will they always accept anything that is good? The bad one will reject them. So that's what we are trying to say. So this one is a little bit the number 3, I think the third one. So now we talk about the examples. Sorry. Okay, yes. Every act so example of ancestral system. So any system now we'll go to the examples of how it happened before. When people they talk say you know go fit happen. When we know say it dey happen, it go fit happen. We they go to the examples now. The first one is the Oyo Empire, where we talk about the Oyo Empire. That's our own Oyo Empire here in Nigeria, where we know say the Alafin actually check the Oyo Mercy, and then the king could be removed for cruelty and corruption. Any king wey dey in the Oyo Empire wey no do things right, that they will what the council of the Alaafin, they will call him to order. Even if the thing is big, is too much, they go remove am from office. No be like our own now wey dey get immunity, where after you do things you have to wait till the person finish in 10 or 8 years or 4 years before you fit remove am, or you fit carry am to court. Immediately as im dey on seat, they fit remove am. That's to tell you what morality is in our ancestral system. Then the second one, power conditional on conduct. So the power, the office where they occupy is on conditional conduct. If you do anything way bad, you feel lose that your seat. That is not that you are, because it's a monarchical system, something that you inherit from your father. That doesn't mean that immediately if you behave anyhow, do the right thing, you have corruption or you have something, you will still occupy that office. You feel lose the office at any time. So then the next, Igbo societies. That's in the Igbo society also, we have stainless democracy. They have kind of democracy where they call stainless democracy, where not be only one person they occupy position. Then if you look at the Ozo and the Eze titles, and through integrity and service. The Uzo and the Eze title, they are not something that you just go and buy. Just like our people today, they just go, before you know person, they don't go give them one title where you don't know where you get them from or how you get them from. That time is because of what? Your integrity. People trust you. That anything where you talk, you do now. Oga talk and do. No be Oga talk and disappear. You be Oga talk, and when you promise people, you do it. And then what? You deliver community service. You either protect the community, or you do things for the community. You join in the road construction. You bring development to the community before they will give you that title. Then Ohanize, that's the Assembly of Elders. They are what? They are also based on character. They have those people. They also what? Check you. That's the Ohanize. They are what? They are group of elders, Assembly of Elders, where they check what you they do. As just like the way they will tell you, say these are the what? These are the cabinets. So those Uzo title, that's Ohanize, those elders, they always look at what you are doing. They think about it, because we say our elders, what they see while sitting there, even you when you fly or climb Uroko tree, go official. So they watch all you are doing. Anytime you misbehave, they call you to order. That's what check and balance in the Igbo traditional system. Then the age grade and the Omoda, they are what? They provide oversight. That's the age grade, that's the group, the youth, and the other people that are what? Assigned with responsibility, which they are called the Omoda. They are what? They always check. They perform oversight. When you say they do this, they make sure they go there and check. And this person they do and the responsibility of that chiefin they do anything when you say they do, they must go confirm say they do. They are just like the legislative arm of government in this current modern democracy, because the legislators they're supposed to what? Do it. Then they rapture colonial imposition. So now we are here to the what? The problem. When we say the rapture, that's the problem. That thing will come enter that will come arrest our institution where they work out fine before. They run well, smoothly, they help everybody, they serve everybody, but it come later hijack and then become something else. Replace accountable authority with appointed rules. They now, as the colonial, those Oyibo people, as they enter our distance, as they arrest our system, instead of people where would they give responsibility, where would they make sure would they check there? Now, that authority not deal like that again. Then they appoint people, even people with what? With questionable characters. People where get shady dealings, where they do magu, where they do anyhow. Them, the only thing is what? As far as they are answering to their order, they do things the way they want. Shikena, let them just do it. That's what they want. Then warrant chief installed for compliance, not virtue. The warrant chiefs where they don't appoint, where they give office, where they serve as chiefs in the traditional palace, those ones they know they think about their characters. They just they what give them office because of what they agree with what they are doing. They agree with the idea and the doings of the white people. Then accountability mechanism sideline. That question of whether you do or you no do, they know they keep them for side. They say move, let's move. That one no be whether as far as you they answer the call of the white people, they do what they want. It does all. Just let them continue. Accountability, whether you talk and do or you no do, that one no dey the system again. Unlike our traditional ancestral system, we would always do the thing. So can you move adjust for a little bit so that we'll see the next one before we see the or if you can mention it so that then
Is there? Is there now? That is it.
yes before the
That is this.
post independent legacy.
Post independence legacy. Is there now? Yeah.
It's because
Yeah.
here you know
Proceed.
my
Proceed.
screen is small. That's why I sent it.
Okay.
So post independence legacy, inherited colonial architecture. So as now after the even when we say we don't get independence. So then we still what inherit, we still get that, we still keep that thing where we don't get when the white people don't come. We inherit that architecture of unaccountable leaders. You just yes sir, yes ma, okay sir, okay ma. That's the only thing where would they do. Anything asking question is not part of us again. We lose that this thing of check and balance of our ancestral system where we say we dey always check wetin our leaders they do. We lose them because of the coming of the white men. Even when they pack their things, they go. But the people where they leave us with and the system where they leave us with will not destroy the system. We just keep the system where they build for us and we continue like that. We know they ask questions. And then that's why we still have these immunity clues. We still have people that you cannot talk to them. If you say they will make you disappear. Just like the way they talk, I will make you disappear. We still remember that lawmaker. Then moral trade between leader and community not rewarded. So that moral trade between the community, that bond, that relationship of person have to be morally okay, must be morally certified. That's we must confirm say this person get moral, good moral before we allow the person know they know it's not back again. We leave am for one side. We no bring am back. We just go. Then proof of character can govern. Then the evidence wey be say character, that good moral character, moral conduct, moral behavior can govern, that can rule people, is still present in Africa. If you can remember the Julius Nyerere of Tanzania, that person where he ruled before in the 1970s to 1980s in Tanzania, we can still remember his philosophy of what, where the Ujamaa philosophy, where he don't teach people how morality is paramount, is very important, is something that you must look into before you give people power. One of the things in that Ujamaa philosophy is what? Honesty. You must be honest. And you must what? You must have concern with the poor people. As if you not get empathy, you not get conscience, you not go become leader. If you are not honest and you don't have empathy for the people, for the common people, or for the poor people, you cannot be leader. That some people cannot decide who will lead the people. No, you must be someone with good character, with good conscience, with good empathy to the people. Then live principles. Died without a fortune. He lived with that. Those principles, he not just talk am from out. He not talk am from out, but he act on it. He is oga talk and do. He talk on those principles of honesty and having concern for the people, and he live with it in his leadership. He show it to people that yes, it is doable, and he do it, and he died without leaving mansions, houses. No, but the only thing he leave is what he voluntarily relinquished power. He resign, leave the office. Not be say they say they vote him out. No, he leave the office. He make other people come and do. Unlike our own today, where everybody I want to remain here, I no one leave. They even if they get possibility, they will extend their tenure. They will say, okay, maybe not third time, infinity, just like some African leaders now they do in their own country. Before you know, they do constitutional amendment. The next thing they will say presidential time or government time is unlimited. That's but him he leave the power without even getting plenty things, mansion and the rest. Then moral authority as governance technology. So then him put morality. That morality when they preach, he make sure that those things are what are guard for what governance for technology. How you go take these are the things you will use. That's tech. Things where you go use to govern people. That's Julius Nyerere's philosophy. Then let's go to the next one. Then the Acheve's verdict and Nigeria reckoning. So then our own Oga, that's our own grandpapa or father, what we go call. That's that famous writer what we always read in books. That's our Chinua Achebe. His own submission, that's his own talk, his own opinion on Nigeria. He talk say talk. Like through the trouble with Nigeria, the problem with Nigeria is what leadership problem. No, he no talk and say na the people problem, na the leadership problem, and the leadership problem he no talk and say na only say because we no get leadership position, no we get leadership position, but failure of leadership, submission of appearance for substance and enrichment for duty. Instead of them making understand say that office where they occupy, our leaders as our own grandpapa, Achebe talk am say talk. No be say the problem with leadership is not they did not look that office where they occupy as duty, as responsibility. No, they look am as opportunity to get what to gather money to amass wealth. That's what they look that office to be. Then corruption perception index. What we look that's the corruption perception index. That's that organization where would they talk about where would they say Transparency International. Their ranking when they don't look at Nigeria, they rank Nigeria as what 142 out of 182, which is very bad. Moral disqualification for office unheard of unheard of. So all those things, moral justifications, at the end of the day, moral justification for office, okay, this person is supposed to do right, this is his responsibility, I him no do, people know they talk out. No, corruption day. And for the past 2 years, we don't stay for this. Then character absence from the ballot. When they talk, choose people where they will be on the ballot, people where will they vote during election. You know they talk about their character. Would they always look at something different? Then the candidate fitness assessment by what? Winnability and sorry. We look at instead of us to look at the character, the honesty, the how person they promise, they deliver. That's but we dey look at things where no suppose dey. We dey look at will he be able to win? Will the person be able to finance the campaign? That will he be able to provide money for his campaign? And how is he going to reward his masters or people wey go support am may win? Those are the things we dey look. We know they ask anything character. But we dey always look at his ability. Is he popular? People know am. That's how much money he don spend, how many people he don get. No be say whether the person na thief or anything like that, we no care. But in get the people, can he win because he's in support of some people? That's the power that be. Then we know they look at what truthfulness, the person they talk true, always waiting they talk now true. We know they look at of his integrity. We know they look at his dignity. All those things we ignore them, we forget about them. We forget about truthfulness, integrity, and his dignity of character, his dignity of life. Any problem we get before in his character, we forget and we dey talk about only money, 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 money. Then the system filter character out. Already the system, even INEC, either political party, they know they look us towards character of the person. No, they just they look at the person's ability, because that's why if you look at even INEC laws, they will tell you the person must have so amount of money. So the system itself did not help more keep morality in the system. Then the next one, structural problems required. That's the solutions. Now we are talking about the solutions. So structural problems require structural solutions. So if you want to correct this problem, how we go take fix am? So as the problem is not just individual, it's structural. That's it's from the arrangement, how things are arranged. So we also need what? To arrange. That's the political reform. So then we look at what make demonstrated integrity for a formal condition. So we can do what in towards that reform, that problem we go take solve. We must what? We must make decide intentionally in our action and our things. We must make sure say integrity is the first thing we would look for person before we give her responsibility. Anytime we would give person responsibility, whether class monitor, whether your community leader, anybody where would they vote, more make sure say that person that character would the first look before would they look for moral character before that's person they give her money before he no chop am. They give am office before he no abuse office. They give am power before he no cheat anybody in do things right. So now the political reform, that's the way we will take shape our politics is this way. These are the things we should do. Stronger asset declaration, lifestyle audit. We must make sure say that person before he go that office, waiting he get before. And then his lifestyle, which kind of lifestyle is he a womanizer? Is it a drug addict? Is it this? What are his problems in his life? He get anything, any problem? What we no go like? So we must make sure say we get ethics. That's ethics in our own this thing. We must make sure say we make sure we check all those things. Then enforce code of conduct with removal of power. That's we must make sure say in those ethics we must have code of conduct. That's rules and regulation. Where if person no do well, we go remove am from power. That immunity clause should be removed. It should not be there. Anybody will misbehave in the course of his duty, responsibility, or in doing his service or his tenure, may they remove am. No we say we go wait till 4 years or 8 years. That one should be there. Then constitutional bars for breaching public trust. We should set standards. We should set rules. We should set lines in the constitution where we say if person do something like magu of money, that's public trust. You abuse public trust. People then don't agree, say they give you their resources, may you manage. If you do anything like that, they find ways for you. So waiting this thing demand of us, that's what this demand of us. So waiting we supposed to do our own responsibility, what we supposed to do. Then citizens' responsibility, voting beyond ethnic and transactional lines. We should know they consider people where this one am I from my tribe now, now from my religion now, and now from my side now. Forget about that thing. Oh, this person give me money. He give me money before. Now 10,000 naira, he give me now 100,000 naira. Now bag of rice, now spaghetti. Forget all those things. Vote for people where say they get integrity. They don't get things shaggy dealings for their own cupboard. They don't do magu. Everything where they talk now, they do am. Now people will go bring development to They will give you job. Your children will go school. They no go kidnap you. Now those people you suppose vote. Forget about you, the person's religion, ethnicity, or anything. Then traditional institutions stop selling titles. So those are our traditional institutions. Anybody wey want give title, you want give am any title, the person's character must fit in the position. No be say because him come give you na money, him come build palace for you, him come give the king or the or emir or anybody money, the traditional ruler money. No, forget about money. Ask where him get the money from, which work him don do before, which service him do for the community, whether na office him don occupy before. As him occupy that office, did he perform his responsibility well? Him bring any development to the society? If you no bring, forget am, no give am that title. Then religious leaders does not bless corrupt ambitions. Anybody wey come to your church or mosque say make you bless am, say him wan run for this, ask am question. What is he going to do? Check, do character audit, his lifestyle audit. Ask, check people wey dey around him, or position wey he don hold before. Wetin him do when he dey that place? No just bless his ambition, or because him come drop money, give donation. Say I don donate 2 million, 20 million naira for the construction of a new auditorium for you, or new mosque, new church. No, let him check his character and the source of his money, his wealth is very important. Then civil society, media reclaim the role as guardian of moral threshold. So the civil society, all those civil society organizations, the NGOs, the media, those medias where they do work, like the way movement radio they do, they should start doing work. Check all those in powers. Make them make sure that what they keep, because we say they are the guardians of moral threshold. They keep things, they keep history, they keep reminding us how things should be, how things supposed be. Then the conclusion, the thread can be rewoven. So this is the last part, this is the conclusion. So this issue of having character and politics or leadership or governance to work together can be brought back, just like it happens in the ancestral tradition, just like our forefathers, how it happened with our forefathers. It can still be brought back. It can still come back to us, and we can still use them. The ways we should do what? Morality lost due to what? Severed link between character and power. So because the reason why we lose morality and power is because we give gap, we separate them, we increase the gap, we make it very wide, very big. Instead of me bring them close, no, every day we push morality, we say there is no morality in politics. No, we should bring them back. We should make sure they work together. Anybody who no get morality, he has no business to be in power, he has no business to be in politics. We must bring them together. Then, broken by history can be rebuilt by will. Anything that history, maybe because you don't see where this thing happen, now where it exists. Yes, if we have the intention, anything where history drop them or push them back, they can say as if it's impossible. We'll make them possible when we get the intention. Intention makes things possible. Then demand moral character as non-negotiable qualification. Anybody where they come any office, no matter how small or big, make sure say that office you ask the character, you take the character of the person. That the character of the person is not something that is no, we can substitute it for. No, there is no substitute. There is nothing that you can replace it with. You cannot exchange it for anything. That moral character must be there. If you know that person is not fit for office. Then from presidency to class monitor, that's to tell you from the top, the top, from the president to that person where they give class monitor, the people character must be checked. Everybody at every level, the character of the person is very important before you give that person any opportunity to serve the people. Thank you. That's the mind map of the article. Back to our movement radio, Chicago, for any
Yes.
comment, contribution, or we'll go to our
Thank
audience.
you. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Abdullahi, for that mind map analysis. Any comments from our producer in Chicago?
That was a very detailed one. I want to just share this page also with our audience and just read it out. Where the cartel politics of Tinubu has destroyed the reputation of many once respected Nigerians in politics, business, religion, and academia. And it's a long list of people from Wale Soyinka, Festus Keyamo, Charles Dodo, Adeboye, Wala, FFK. And one of them don't have characters before, so I don't even know what is being destroyed, like Reno, Mokri, and Bawala. Virtually all state governors of big finance. Just something to share. Anyway, do we have another one? We've been on now for how long? How long we been on, Joe? Do we have another one to go?
We have been on for almost 2 hours now. Yes, we have another one.
Sure. Okay. So let's cover that and let's move on. I have no further comments, just to share this thing.
Okay. Let's take a look at can election fix Nigeria? That is the next article that we want to take a look at. Okay.
Is that the one we want to pick? I thought it was something.
That was what was sent to me by our correspondent. Yeah.
Is that the one?
Is there another one pending?
I thought there was one about I can't remember the topic. The people or something that I sent. Let's do that one. Let's do that one.
Yeah.
We're babbling.
The one you shared, I don't have it in document format. That's why I didn't share it. Yes.
Oh, it's in which format?
You send it just as a text via WhatsApp.
Let's just do the one we have now, and then you guys go ahead.
Okay.
Just as a text, can it be copied? Is that the one we are doing?
Yes, you can. If you can copy it, we can just do it because it's short.
It's what?
It's short. We can do it.
Yeah, let's do a short one. Let's do the one in the text. Let me see if I can copy it. Do you guys have it, or I have to look for it?
We don't have it in document, but if I can go and copy it and do it.
Okay, copy it and do it. Yes. Copy it.
Okay, let me just do that.
It's short. Yeah, we need a short one. We've been on for so long. Yeah, we want to thank the people we have online on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and TikTok for joining us. You can see that the moral compass of most Nigerians are broken. That once you start talking about things that hits them, they run. Yeah, most of them have no morality. They have a psychopathic tendencies or to evil. They're just in alignment with evil, with something bad. Negative. But let them, they'll meet their Waterloo, like they say in politics. Happy. So Abdullahi,
Absolutely.
you're working on that other one we want to do. The short one. Let's do the short one. Yeah.
Let's be having fun on your Facebook page while we wait.
Page, okay. For meanwhile, yeah, let's go back there. Let me share that. You're right. Let's
I
share
believe
this
there'll be
one.
quite a number of interesting stuff that we can
Yeah,
lounge
there
on
is.
on
There
your
is.
Facebook. Yes.
Yeah,
Like this one now.
yeah. The biggest tragedy is watching respected voices lose respect they once commanded. That's the tragedy of it all. Respect is
Absolutely.
earned over decades and can disappear in a moment.
Absolutely. When elders have lost their voice.
Yeah, these people all failed in their challenge, honor principle, or political survival. Yeah, they all failed. They can't stand for the
Crazy.
truth.
It's crazy. It's crazy. When you have people like Festus Keyamo, who used to be an activist.
Cash TVs, horrible people. And that's why the country is struggling because of we don't have men of substance.
Daniel Boala. Daniel
Oh,
Boala
this
that
one.
says that if you enter APC, you lose your brain. He's now guilty of the very thing he said before.
Listen. Most of these people, our problem is the Nigerian. Most of them don't even deserve to be given a stage or a microphone because of their compromised moral principles. And that's why a lot of people that argue that morality and politics don't go along are so very wrong. You see, yesterday I also went into a media. I wanted to share that with you guys. And I don't know how we are going to be handling all these public medium that tends to pretend to be neutral, but they are mouthpieces of the evil that has befallen that nation. I was on one yesterday. I think it's that this particular one called Mindset, and I can't remember the. Let me remember the topic. And then I raised some valid issues regarding. Okay, he keeps mouthpiecing on behalf of the Tinubu government regarding what that imam said about that Muslim cleric said. And I'm like, look, you have a medium. Your job is not to tell us what you think the Tinubu administration is saying. It is the responsibility of the Tinubu administration to tell us themselves what their position is on the cleric. You cannot be gatekeeping for those you should be challenging. Do you know what he said? The Mindset guy, he said, but I'm not an activist. And I wanted to ask him, so what are you? Are you a Nigerian? Do you have responsibility to challenge your government? Are you a journalist? What exactly are you? Or are you the government's mouthpiece? But he never got the microphone back to me because he had all these Agbadorians babbling garbage that I have to leave the page. It was so bad that I had to leave the page. And you never curtail them on the rubbish they come on here to say, on the lack of moral. Look, morality, you
I
cannot be
shared it.
value neutral. Eh?
I shared it
In
via
this
your
life,
email.
you saw it in my email.
No, I sent it to your email, the article.
Oh, you sent it to my email. Okay. Yeah. So I
Yes.
said in this life, you cannot be what do you call it? Value neutral.
You can't,
Okay,
because
let me check
you
it.
know what, most of them, they
It's
fail to know
impossible.
their responsibility as media men. They said you cannot be biased,
I
but
don't
you cannot
understand how
support bad
people.
things. Because they say you should be neutral, but you cannot be neutral towards bad thing. It's impossible. Something that is wrong, you have to call it wrong.
Value neutral. You
Because
must have a value. You must have the human value. you must be
Definitely,
able to
because
say no
even
to
as your
evil.
responsibility, your responsibility is to protect the people and make sure the integrity of the country is protected. But then, how will you tell me when something is wrong, then you still remain neutral? It's impossible. You tell the people the
He
truth,
said, no, I'm
the
not an
honest truth.
activist.
Every media
If you say
person,
you're not
every
an
journalist
activist,
is
that
an
means
activist.
yeah, that means you're saying you're surrendering your sovereignty to someone else who's an activist. So you're looking this superhero mentality, somebody's coming to save you. No, you're responsible for saving yourself. You're responsible for saving yourself.
So
I don't
that's, you are telling
understand,
me that if your
it
house
just
is collapsing, you have to wait for another person to come and do it for you because it's not you are not a firefighter.
no, I think it's a cop out. They're just cowards or people who have a bankrupt mindset. Yeah,
They are just afraid of the people that are giving
yeah.
them money.
They say I am not an activist, but you have a medium that have about 1,000 people listening, and you don't have and you are a citizen of that country. You don't have an opinion on what is happening in your country. You have to be an activist to have an opinion or state your opinion. To me, that's a cop out, and I don't know.
Then you are
I don't
less a
like people
human.
like that. Yeah, I think
Every
those are the
human should
people
have
that are destroying
opinion.
the country. I think those are the enemies within that we really need to deal with. If we don't deal with that, we are not going anywhere. Because you're either a part of the problem or you're a part of the solution.
The solutions. That's the
You
only
can't,
two
you
states.
can't. Only two states you can be. You're either a part of the problem or you're a part of the solution. You can't keep coming on here every day pretending to be pointing fingers at the problem where you are the problem. How can you be
And
value
everybody
neutral?
knows
I don't
clearly
understand human beings. Oh, I am not an
that
activist. Do you need to be an activist to call your own government to order, to riot for what do you call it? To ask for
they
people.
just coined that word activism or activist just because to make some people feel okay, that is a responsibility for selective people. It's a responsibility for all.
Yeah, that's why you're looking for a super agent, a superman to come and save you.
It's not going to work like that. We must have an
It's not
opinion,
country is not going
and
to
our opinion must be
your
clear.
country is not good, particularly if you have a medium, if you have a microphone. That means they don't even, I don't think Nigerians understand what the word to be an institution it means. An institution is not just a building, it's not a ministry, it's not an individual is an institution. The press is an institution. Journalism is an institution. You see, education is an
Yes,
institution. So when you don't understand that in your capacity as a privileged and educated man, you are an institution, and you cannot, put down that institution by not performing your role. And then you have a
yes,
medium, you have about 1,000. So what do you have your medium for? For likes, for donation, to share your
yes,
opinion.
that's
You say
all
you're a
they go for.
political analyst. You're a political analyst. What are you analyzing? Saying, okay, analyze the state of your country, analyze the state of your children.
Many
How
of them
can you
they claim
be,
to be, I'm just
oh,
an activist,
but
I'm just a
listen, you
journalist.
see
I'm just a
the,
journalist, I am not an activist because they just want to
Abdullahi, look at
remain,
the,
just be talking so that they will keep using their stuff.
yeah, this is the double talk. You say you're not an activist, you wouldn't criticize them or condemn them, but you can speak on their behalf, or you can gatekeep, you can caution yourself, you can gatekeep for them on their behalf. You can say positive things on their behalf. And it just sounds like a slave mentality to me. And I'm surprised somebody like that
Yes,
mindset has that. And I wanted to challenge him, but it took forever to give me the microphone again. So I just left it alone and left because all those nuisance with this Olodo uprising people were saying whatever they want, and he was just allowing it. Said, I am not an act. So you have to be an activist to be a citizen of your own country. Does that even make sense? Do the
doesn't.
Nigerians understand that they have citizen roles that they themselves have to perform if they want to have good leadership? They have to hold leadership to account. How do you hold leadership to account when you only have to be an activist to ask tough questions or to comment about the illegality of a speech made by someone that could create problem in the country? I mean, a lot of our educated people are fools, so I don't know. We have a serious problem and a long way to go. If people like mindset have a mentality like that, I have to be an activist. I hope he hears this and people tell him this or play this tape for him. Because you don't have to be an activist to be a citizen of your own country, to hold your own government to account. You don't have to be an activist. You just have to be you. Because your government is not the owner of your country. You all own the country together. And when people don't have this kind of mentality, I'm sure, he keeps holding a brief for the government. I don't think the Tinubu government, I don't think. It is not for you to tell us what you think the Tinubu government should come and denounce the statement of the cleric, because the statement is discriminatory and offensive to fellow citizens. I don't know how easy it is for people to make up logical points. And this is a person with about 1,000 or 2,000 followers listening to him. So what would a child growing up take from him? You have to be an activist to hold your government to accountable. That's why Nigeria is a mess. It's not because of the likes of Tinubu, Obasanjo, Babangida, and the rest of them. It's because of the likes of people like Mindset, who have a fucked up mindset. Excuse my language. They have a messed up mindset. And I think we need to start tackling all these media that don't get it, that don't get their roles in these rots that we call a nation. It's sad.
Definitely, we have to go for them.
We have to go for them.
Yes?
I hope somebody tells him about this thing I'm saying. How do you, what's the point of your education? What's the point of you having a microphone, having a stage? It doesn't make sense.
Because once you are educated, it's the responsibility upon yourself.
It spread ignorance. Let me do the reading, and then one of you guys or the two of you will do the breakdown. Let's get the reading going. It's your responsibility. And no, just think about the stupidity of that statement. Do you have to be an activist to hold your own government accountable? I don't get that.
It's just the mentality of many of the Nigerians that we have to remain passive. If you are active as a citizen, so an activist is the only person that is ready to go to jail.
All the things, all the likes of Sowore are doing, everybody should be doing it. What Daily Farrington is doing,
belongs to all
everybody
of
should
us.
be doing
It's
it.
a collective ownership. It's a collective responsibility.
And he keeps saying, I don't think the Tinubu administration would support the cleric. It is not for you to tell us what you think the Tinubu administration should do. It is up to the Tinubu administration to come out and denounce that cleric. But they don't get it. Because the statement of the cleric is discriminatory and offensive.
You speak out, you say you are against or you are for. Because silence means you are acceptability.
You can't be value neutral in this world. You cannot be. If you're not part of the solution, you are part of the problem. End of story.
Of the problem.
You know, you are the problem. Stop saying, oh, it's APC. No, it's you. You're holding brief for them. You're teleguiding them. You're censoring yourself for them. Can you imagine that? How you censor yourself for them, for the oppressor? That means you're a slave. If somebody is hearing this, they should tell myself, the movement radio thinks that he's a complete idiot and a slave. End of story. For him to think that he has to be an activist for him to criticize the cleric's message or to call for the Tinubu administration to criticize that cleric's message, because the message is discriminatory and it is offensive to fellow Nigerians. I don't get it. You don't have to be an activist to call your government to do the right thing. Then why are you calling for the release of for them to release the children in Borno? Oh, you can call for that, but you can't call them. But you have to be the one to. I think they don't mean. No, that means you're their mouthpiece. You shouldn't be their mouthpiece. Let them do their job.
Are you their brain to think for them?
You're not their brain. And he won't give the mic. He gave the mic to all these Agbadorians, all those ones who are saying all sorts of abominable things. Things that shouldn't be on the mainstream without being challenged. A bunch of ignorant people. This is how we destroy our own community, and then we want to point fingers that the government is bad. The Paradox of the Nigerian Society by Evans Efeli. The paradox of the Nigerian society is best understood through the conduct of its people, who too often unknowingly work against their own interests. That's what we're talking about. First, jobless individuals who champion those responsible for their lack of employment reveal a profound disconnect from reality. Likewise, students on strike supporting forces behind the disruption that undermine their own pursuit of education. Fathers that are unable to feed their family and are yet marching in support of architects of their poverty reflect misplaced loyalty and lack of critical awareness. The same pattern emerges with youth supporting regimes like linked to violence against their peers. Homeless and jobless citizens who defend those responsible for rising inflation and those enduring darkness praising leaders behind the electricity failures. Like those supporting Atiku. Atiku is responsible in fact of Nigerian electricity failure because he wants to sell generators, and we still have Nigerian youth supporting him. Makes no sense. Now, demonstrate how propaganda and tribalism cloud judgment. So those who defend those responsible for their rising inflation, their enduring darkness, and praising their leaders behind these failures demonstrate how propaganda and tribalism clouds judgment. Nigerians unable to travel because of bad roads, yet endorsing those who looted infrastructure fund, or sleepless citizens troubled by insecurity, but yet are supporting leaders who foster terrorism upon them. This further underscores the tragic contradiction, the lack of clean water, high fuel prices, failed refineries, all one way or another trace back to the choices people make, often in favor of those who cause the hardship. Ethnic and tribal solidarity regularly eclipse demands for competence and a proven track record, while the law of stomach infrastructure blinds citizens to the long-term consequence. Even intellectuals such as professors who manipulate elections for politicians yet protest on paid salary join the ranks of those acting against their own interests. That's what I was saying about this man. Say he's not an activist. You're acting against your own interest. In essence, these actions personify self-inflicted adversity Intelligent society must learn to recognize and resist the circles of self-defeating support if they want to build a more just and prosperous future. I shall go to Rabbi again. Paradox of Nigerian society is best understood through the conduct of its people who often unknowingly work against their own interests. First, jobless individuals who champion those responsible for their lack of reveal a profound disconnect of reality. Likewise, students on strike supporting forces behind this undermine their own pursuit of education. Oh, I think the article is repeating itself. No. Fathers unable to feed their family, marching in support of architects of the same pattern emerges with youth supporting regimes linked to violence of their peers. In essence, this action personifies self-inflicted adversity. I think it's repeating itself. Okay, I got that part. Let's go back to the mind map, and Ibukun and Abdullah will take the mind map and then we'll call it a day for today. I mean, we got to tell each other the truth if we hope to. You don't have to be an activist to hold and stop censoring yourself on behalf of your government. That's what you said in that thing, the making of our own gods. Remember, Abdullah?
Yes, that's it. That's exactly what we are saying, because many people just believe that okay, someone somewhere have to do the job. Why not you? Why working for someone?
Yeah,
Then
the
at the end
making
of the
of
day,
our
if
own
that person
gods.
fail you, you say what? The person fail you. So it's quite unfortunate, very unfortunate that someone
It,
have to
it
say
is
that you have to
unfortunate.
be an activist for you to
And
ask the
that's
government the
somebody
right question.
who has a podium of 2,000 people listening. So what is that person teaching the young one? That you have to be an activist to hold your own leaders accountable? Does that even make sense? You see how we
That's
are,
the problem with most of
you
our
see the
content
state of
creators.
the Olodo uprising in our country. This is serious. How is there going to be a change? And then you're going to be systematically be calling for the release of the children kidnapped, but yet you're censoring yourself on behalf of a government that has failed you, that is against your interest, because that cleric statement is against your interest. I'm pretty sure I don't care his religion, but that cleric's divisive statement, is against his interest, and it's the responsibility of your government to protect your interests. People are stupid. I'm telling you. Martin Luther King once said it. He said, sincere stupidity and conscientious ignorance. Conscientious stupidity and sincere ignorance is the most dangerous thing in this world. And a lot of Nigeria exhibit that. That include that guy called Mindset. Somebody should tell him this if they
Because
hear
even me,
this.
I'm even thinking that maybe he's just calling for the release of those children, just not from his genuine mind.
Not
He's
from his
just
genuine mind.
saying
He's
it so
just
that
being
I'll follow the
hypocritical
crowd.
about it. He's calling for the release, just being hypocritical. If you can call for your government to make a statement against the statement of the cleric, knowing fully well that that statement is discriminatory and offensive. We should call out people like that. Let them know about the movement radio, that we are not going to take all their. When we come into their media, I just took too long to respond. Ibukusha, are you guys ready to take this in so we can call it a day?
Yes. The paradox of Nigerian society.
Hold on, before you go that thing with that mindset guy, you and Abdullah, I think, I was just busy rambling away because it upsets me. I swear to God, it upsets me. I said before you go to the paradox, you have a comment on that mindset guy.
Yes, I do. Mindset is like the typical mentality of the Nigerian people, especially the professionals in their right, the journalists. that because they are
He
they are
calls himself a
journalists.
political analyst.
Oh, okay, well, because they are political analysts, they don't want to have a voice to speak or say what is wrong and what is right is right. They want to take a neutral stance to situations. But well,
To me,
time
I
always
think you have
reveals.
no reason whatsoever to be an analyst or whosoever you call yourself. The essence of analysis is to what? To have findings, recommendations, and solutions. So if, for example, at the end of your analysis, there are no findings, there are no recommendations, so then you are not an analyst.
No,
You are
part
the
of the
same. You are not.
analysis.
You are
The idea is part of the analysis is to analyze every situation and
find,
bring out
identify the
every
problem,
angle to it.
give possible solutions, and you said at the end of
Yes,
the day you
bringing
are
out
neutral.
every angle to it. Even though you're not providing solution, but at least you have to bring out every angle and call out, like this issue of this cleric now. Your job as a political analyst is to indeed bring out how unacceptable that particular utterance is and how inflammable, how it can, the consequence of such statement. You should state it. Not that you now be having a voice or, holding brief or gatekeeping the situation or like doing a PR for those that are indeed accused of the whole thing. Those the culprits, essentially. Your mic is muted, Mr. Alaba.
Team brief for the government, being the
Yes,
mind
yes.
of I think the Tinubu government would not. It's not in their
What is
interest. I think.
what
Who
is
are
your
you to think
business?
for them? You are to call them to come and respond to that cleric statement. End of story. And it is their duty and job to respond because that statement was divisive, was discriminatory, and it was inflammatory. Every sensible government must. It's like the US government. Now, somebody comes on here on CNN and makes a statement against black people, very racist statement, and the governor is there or a representative of the government. It's the duty of the White House to respond to that statement and say we dissociate ourselves from such statement, we condemn such statement. Not for you as a journalist or analyst or whatever name you call yourself to be saying, I think the Tinubu government is not in support of that. Who are you to think for the Tinubu government?
When the Tinubu government is not saying anything about it.
You should be calling for the Tinubu statement on the issue.
Exactly. So who are you to say I think they are not good?
Had it been all our journalists,
So
2,000 people were listening to that rubbish.
Yeah, that is the real problem right there. When the so-called analysts, they preempt the system without allowing the system to
And
show
I
their
called him
true
on
color.
that. When I called him on that, he was like, well, I am not an activist. Do you have to be an activist to hold your own government accountable?
That statement
their
right
answer
there.
always bring up more questions. It just shows how
it's
stupid
revealing.
they are.
Yes, that is how they reveal their true essence. That they are not as what they claim to be. They're not really analysts. So if they don't make such statements, there's no way we can see them for their true color or for what they truly represent.
I hope
So
this is
statements like
recorded.
that.
Somebody plays a portion of this for him to listen, because people like that don't listen. They live in their own bubble, and think, oh, we are fair and balanced. No, you're not. If you're thinking for the Tinubu government, if you're censoring yourself for a bad government.
Absolutely. And that is why the only deterrence to that kind of situation or what we are dealing with, like the likes of Mindset, is to build platforms All right. Make sure the alternative platforms like Movement Radio, Civic Space, all of these platforms, they have to become big in their own right. We have to build a community in our own right.
All their foolishness, take them off, because they won't give you a microphone on their platform.
Absolutely. So the only deterrence is when you intimidate them with your community. For instance, if as they are having their own,
you're using the wrong word, Ibu. You present a superior argument to their foolishness, not intimidate. That's what democracy is. It's a battle of words, and superior argument always win. And in this superior argument, we are saying that you don't have to be an activist to hold your government accountable, and you don't have to be a public platform holder doing the thinking for your government. That's not your job. That's not your job.
The government hired people for that responsibility.
But the reason why I'm using the scenario, or perhaps the example of a intimidation, is that
don't
this
do that,
entity,
because that's what they will fall back on. You got to be careful with words.
There's a reason. Let me explain myself. The reason why I made that expression is these guys are not motivated by superior arguments. That is the sad part of it. They are not moved, neither are they convinced when you present superior arguments to them. That is the sad part. So the only thing that they respect is when they know that there's a superior platform, that you have built your own community, and you have so much in that community such that that community can drown every narrative that they are trying to project. That is the only thing that they can respect and bow to. They don't bow to superior argument. They bow to superior and a bigger, intimidating narrative. That is what they bow to. That's why I use that expression.
Ran away the moment we start talking. They ran away.
Absolutely. You see. So when you try to project, a bigger platform, they respect that compared to when you are projecting a bigger narrative or a superior narrative. These powerful people, they don't respect logic. They only respect a superior platform. That is the only thing they respect, that you have a voice, that you, in your own right, you've got millions of people listening to you, and you are able to correct their stupid narrative or their oppressive narrative in real time. That is when they respect you. But if you are presenting superior arguments or superior ideas, they will just, because of their platform mindset now, waiting the shakam now because he gets 1,000 people listening to him per time. That is what is shocking him. He think he has a
and
big
all the spread is Olodo uprising. Senseless argument. That's what they spread ignorance like wildfire. The Olodo uprising.
That is it. And it is not just him. We have many of them in society. That so-called big platform. Yes, that big, because they have 30,000 people that are watching them, 20,000 people liking their comments, or liking their post. It gives them this ego that, yes, the only thing that you can use to counter them is when you also have 30,000 people that can like your post and 20 million people that can listen to you. That is the only thing that can give them they can listen to you and respect whatever you have to say. So, and the same thing happens to all of these ruiners. It is the reason why, if you are going to defeat them, you have to defeat them squarely. You've got to build a superior force that can constitute a block that they would respect. Powerful people do not respect superior arguments or logic. They respect organization that can overwhelm them.
That authoritarian mentality has intoxicated
their mind. Yes. That authoritarian mentality,
that they cannot, nobody can fight them unless someone with the same power.
Mm-hmm.
But the more we will keep going, we'll keep going. Sometimes we'll even go to their space and we'll take over the space.
They will not allow that to happen. That is where it gets tricky. In spaces like that mindset space now, if you decide to go there and you want to challenge whatever they are saying, they can kick you out.
They do. Most of the time they do. That's why I stopped joining spaces.
They'll kick you out, and they would even use what you are saying and twist it to further drive their narrative.
Immediately, he refused to give me the microphone back again.
He will not give me the mic. You know, I was blocked by some people because I have different opinion. That's why I don't appear in their. I don't even see their content anymore.
What the kind of treatment that the Movement Radio Chicago got, if it were to be a Rufai Oseni that picked up the mic and challenged this stance of ease, he would not bring out this narrative of he's not an activist. He would never, because he knows that Rufai Oseni has a big audience. Yes. So these guys, they do all what they do to intimidate, because they have a big, so to speak, big platform. 1,000 people listening to them in a space. But if it were to be a Rufai Oseni that grabbed the mic and challenged him for taking that, complicit stance,
subservient stand, stand, a slave stand, slave mentality stand. And that's why they are enemies within. I keep telling you, until we identify and castigate the enemies within, we are not going to get to the Night King.
And then they are not even unconscious, they are conscious.
Huh?
Then they are not even unconscious, they are conscious because they know what they are doing.
Yeah, they know what they are doing. They are conscious. They are deliberately deceptive. I know. They know what they are doing. They're conscious.
So
they're using the tool of deception.
Absolutely.
We keep tackling them.
Absolutely. And if we can build our platform, build this media organization, platforms like Civic Space, if we also have our own numbers, all right, such that they also know us as a big force.
We will over time as people get to know what we are about.
Yes. So when we grab mic on their platform, if let's say a Civic Space have like 100,000 or 200,000 people that are following me, or a Movement Radio has like 1.3 million, like that of Oseni, people following him, and he decides to grab the mic, whatever comes out will be respected. That is how their mindset works. That is how the Nigerian mindset works.
All they do is just expand the Olodo uprising. That's all they do. Spread ignorance like fire with their minute, stupid mindset. I'm not an activist. So it's only activists that can hold their own government accountable. Only activists. No wonder Nigeria is messed up.
Absolutely. So let's quickly go through.
Let's quickly go through this thing, and we can end today's program. Yeah.
Yes, the paradox of Nigerian society. How the kind problem we get as it take B. Now be the meaning of paradox. Now big going be that, but it's like something they happen to us, but we don't know whether now good or not bad, but something just they do us. That is paradox. So conduct of people working against own interests. Yes, you have a citizen that are working against, where they work against their interests. When you are in love with politicians, we no agree give you electricity for the past decade. 10 years don't pass for your community. Your politician just they promise you better road, better electricity, better job, factories in your areas, but it's not happening. And you are still loving that person. You are fighting against your interest. Jobless supporting those responsible. Yes. You don't have a job, but you are supporting politicians when no give you job. That is disconnect from reality. Students on strike supporting disruption. Yes, you have students maybe say they are going to school on loan, but they are the ones celebrating. Say the initiative is a good initiative. All right. Then you have father supporting architect of poverty. Yes, you have many of them. When we go to the field, we'll get to meet them. There's a particular guy that is basically interviewing people up and down now, and he's asking them, who are you going to vote for? They are saying Tinubu. And if you look at them, even by their appearance, Tinubu is responsible for how they look the way they look. Very tattered, but they are still supporting Tinubu, all right? Responsible for their poverty. Undermining education, yes. And you have youth supporting violent regimes against peers, yes. You have many of them doing that already. Okay, yeah. I think we have Mr. Or Mrs. McAnally dropped by on YouTube. My warmest regards. We send our greetings to you too, McAnally. So sorry, I don't know your gender. Your mic is muted, Mr. Alaba. Your mic is muted if you are speaking, Mr. Alaba.
Yeah, McAnally is male. Let's just greet him. Let me make a comment. You go ahead with the reading. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, going already with the man mic. So enduring darkness, praising leaders. Yes, electricity failures. You see, up NEPA situation. You say up NEPA. Your Peking self, they say up NEPA, but yet you are praising and supporting those responsible for lack of electricity that has now been transgenerational. That failure has now moved from your own generation to the generation of your child. Yet you are still in love with the perpetrators of this injustice or failure. Unable to travel, endorsing looters and bad road infrastructure funds. Yes, you have terrible roads in Nigeria. There's thousands of kilometers of road that are yet to be constructed, but you have those, who are their facilitators, those that hold brief and gatekeep for the perpetrators of this waiting they happen. So sleepless supporting terrorism enablers. Yes, your community no dey safe, your community no get police station, but you dey support people wey no provide you police. They would rather provide 30 police that is guiding their own life than to provide police station for your community. And you are still supporting them. You never see anything. Underlying causes is ethnic and tribal solidarity. Yes, because this person belongs to your ethnicity, so it clouds your judgment and your bias. They call it confirmation bias. Eclipse competence and track record. Yes, you want to shield whatever he's doing that is wrong just because the person is a member of your ethnic group. That is messed up. Stomach infrastructure. Yes, we played a video not quite long of what is called stomach infrastructure. That is when you have politicians who have refused to provide infrastructure on ground, but they would rather use peanuts to buy foodstuff to distribute to people. And when people now eat that food or that foodstuff, they are building the infrastructure in their stomach instead of having the real infrastructure. That is what is called stomach infrastructure. It is very messed up. And the thing where they happen for our society be that, our politicians have normalized this kind of situation, and it's very, very terrible.
The poor people. It's not only the poor people that do stomach. All your professors do it. All the journalists, all these judges, they're all doing stomach infrastructure instead of having an enduring country that you can transfer to the children. They would rather collect the bribe or the brown envelope or the house or whatever they can give them now and sacrifice the future of their children and great-grandchildren. So all these big people also are doing it. Yeah.
Absolutely. It is not unique to only the lower class, even the middle class.
It's not the lower, the big class are even the most among them. They've already collected their own envelope before the election day. So they just want to point on the poor as collecting akara, collecting bread and rice. They've already collected theirs by failing the system. Like this guy we're talking about now. We don't know why he's doing what he's doing. He's saying he's not an activist. He's already collected his own. And then he will be the first to condemn the poor people who collect their own on election day.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying? Absolutely. Like that mindset guy we're talking about.
Yes, I
continue, Ojare, brother.
Yes, propaganda and tribalism, clouding judgment. On I know the kind lie, whether they lie up and down. Say person na political jagaban. So nobody fit challenge am. Na propaganda be that thing. Only you have the right and the power to choose who becomes your leader. All right, it's not as a result of one magic way one big man won't play. All right, politics is politics. All right, the fact that somebody is even proud to have the remote control of your brain, that no matter what he does in power, you go still vote for him, shows say something is wrong with you. All right, just because you want to prove him to be a political jagaban, you can't follow him, regardless of his failure. You check yourself. Something is wrong with you, my brother. Intellectual paradox. Yes, now the thing where they happen with that. Many of the people will be say, we talk, say there's a big book. They know what is going on in society. But somehow, they don't feel, use their platform to talk about everything they happen. Professor manipulating elections. Yes. Now them they use for election period. All of the accounting officers, election officers, they are professors. They are the ones that will read numbers.
Imagine university professors rigging election for those that did not go to school.
It's very,
That's just a paradox in itself. University professors, you're rigging election for people that did not go to primary school, go to secondary school, or have a fake forged certificate from Chicago State University, and you're rigging election for them. It is tragic. Continue,
somebody even gave this scenario of Buhari and Osinbajo. Osinbajo is a professor.
Yeah.
A senior professor for that matter. Somebody was saying Buhari is not even enough is not qualified to be secretary, but he's the one doing yes sir for Buhari.
That's the political culture in Nigeria.
It's crazy. A professor, he can even speak some other languages. Osinbajo can speak French, just like Professor Wole Soyinka speaks French very fluently. Osinbajo also speaks French very, very fluently. He's a professor of law. By normal circumstance, Buhari is not even qualified to be his secretary. And of course, because of politics, he's the one that was doing yes for Buhari throughout 8 years. He was subservient. All his qualification dormant. It's just a title. That's how the political structure in Nigeria. So you also have as they are going through the
becoming the leader to professor.
And you have the core issues. Core issues is the self-inflicted adversity. Yes, now you use your hand, cause your problem. And a self-inflicted adversity be that. Path forward. All right. Recognize and resist self-defeating cycles. Yes. We don't talk about this thing time and time again. The solution is when you resist. When you talk, say enough is enough. One day go be one day, we mocking go market where you no go return. But when are you going to catch the monkey stealing your banana, the banana of your destiny for these years? The monkey just they come, they steal from you every time. You know if you catch the monkey or resist the monkey. But if you do not resist, the monkey will keep coming back to steal from you. It's as simple as that. All right. Build a just and prosperous future. That is, you have a commitment. It's not something that will just happen as just by chance. Now you go use your hand, build your future brighter, rewarding, egalitarian. That one a big oyinbo. Society will be say everybody get equal right. No be say big man get is above the law. Look at it. If na the daughter of David Umahi, na him dey find a naked body in the house of one man, wetin you think say go happen for that man wey dey see the naked body of him daughter for him house? But look at am. A naked body of a young lady was found in David Umahi's house, and David Umahi is still walking around like if nothing happened. All right, murder case. So you have a society where it is not egalitarian. Different law for big man. Yeah, your mic is muted though, Mr. Labi.
And
Okay.
our so-called educated people are not calling for him to be arrested.
Absolutely, you know.
Nobody is
They are
even saying
afraid.
that he should resign his office.
Well, that is all we got today. Oh, make me thank all our people. First, I
Yeah.
want to read all the wonderful comment by Mike and Nelly on YouTube. Thank you, Alaba. Salute. I really appreciate you got this platform rocking. Mark and Nelly, just like your friend and brethren, Delifaro team is spreading the gospel of what a government should be. Mark and Nelly, it cuts across board, in my logical opinion. It's more scumbags at the upper class, both in private and political class. A simple example, I only put it, okay, let's leave that one alone. Next, let's leave that one alone. We don't want to talk too much about his spirit to the world. Okay. So I want to say a quick thank you to a lot of the people that joined us at TikTok. We lost contact a little bit in TikTok, and a lot of them still came back. So I'm going to be yelling out a few names that I can see right here on TikTok. We got Franzio. We got Kola, Kola. Thank you, Kola. Can't you, Kajib, KK, TCA, Alfonso, thank you. Amir, thank you. Nico, Jesus, thank you. Melissa, thank you. Brutus, Promo, Chani, thank you. Flash Go, New Hampshire, thank you. Nadia, Prosper, thank you. Darren, Martin, thank you. Sally, 1036, thank you. Yolande Spears, Bren Hewley, Sean, Yusuf, Bridget, thank you, Bridget, thank you. Dental Work Farm, Bianca Catalina, Richard Valenci, thank you. And Rene Justin, we go belts. User Tanji, stay focused. I actually know her. Thank you, Tanji, for joining us, Tan. I'm saying greetings. Lovely, thank you. Is that not my cousin, my little cousin? President Jess, thank you, and Antonin. So that's a long list there from TikTok, and let's see what we got here on Instagram. Andriata, thank you, and Adebayo Bayesha, thank you. Risa, Arinze Wobudu, thank you. Ramodo, thank you. Eldodo Concern, thank you, and Owo Blue, thank you. For my Facebook crew that joined us, sorry I cannot see the list of names, but we thank you all the same, both on the Movement Radio Facebook and Alaba Ferreira Facebook. And then on the people on YouTube, I also apologize, I cannot see the list of names, but we thank you a great deal for joining us today. We hope we've learned one or two things, and whatever you learn, what you're doing today, what you did yesterday will be different from what you do today, and what you're not doing today, you will do it tomorrow, so we all can have a better country. The point of all this is to enlighten, inform, and educate, so that we can free our minds to build a better country and nation for ourselves, so we don't have to run across the desert and ocean to find a good life. Our land is rich with milk and honey in itself. We just have to drive the clowns out of the palace. That's what we can only do that when we have a collective voice. That's what I got here from Chicago. Thank you, Oliver. All the stages, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We're running full bats in all areas to get information to people. So I'm going to hand over the microphone to Abuja, Abdullahi Salisu, our guy from in Abuja, Nigeria. He's going to give his closing remark, and then after that we go to Lagos with Ibukun Oluwa. So Abdullahi, let's start. People here, go ahead. Oh, sorry,
Thank you.
guys. I forgot
Thank
to
you.
mention. Sorry, Abdullahi, I forgot to mention the people on the audio section of X, which is Ingenious, Omologo, and Edo Pikin. Thank you all, guys. And all the Agbadorians that came and ran away, we still thank you when you hear the truth. Don't be scared of the truth. You have to immune yourself with the truth. We know the truth is bitter. That's okay. That's it for us here from me from Chicago. I'm putting the microphone back to Abuja. Thank you.
Okay, thank you each and every one of us, all that are here on the studio, and all of you that are across all the social media platforms. We say thank you. We do this again on Thursday. So let's look forward for another interesting edition of this program. Today is good, and we thank you, Mike Kennedy, on YouTube, for always commenting. So it's very well. Nice to meet you here. Thank you, Abdullah Salisu, Movement Radio, Abuja.
And thank you so very much. It's been a very interesting episode, and we salute all of you that connected with us. Do not forget that on YouTube you can replay this episode. You can replay it on X, and of course, even the audio version, the X audio platform, is also replayable. Send it to a colleague, a friend, a family relative. Let them get up to speed, and the education that we are sharing here, it's very much important for every one of us to get a good slice of it, so we can make collective actions towards what is going on in our society, because collectivism is very powerful. When we do things together as a result of knowledge, and as they say, knowledge is power, all right? But how would they, carry out that powerful action if they don't know better? And many of our people are honestly, they are honestly ignorant. And of course, our platform, all right, across board, is poised to address that honest ignorance. Thank you so very much. We'll see you on Thursday for another fresh edition. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.